Washington just flipped the script, and the American people are the victims. Chuck Schumer stands at a podium calling for citizens to forcefully rise up while his hand is on the switch that shut down your government. Federal workers are getting pink slipped, essential services hanging on by a thread, and the same Democrats who screamed hostage-taking when Republicans threatened shutdowns are now holding the entire country hostage over their radical demands. They're not even hiding their hypocrisy anymore. Watch them squirm when confronted with their own words from 2018. And this isn't governance, it's revenge. And when they're making you pay for Trump's victories. And the evidence, it's devastating. Keep watching. So gold has gone mainstream, and you're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? And that's where Noble Gold Investment comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. Whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. And you're going to get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metal transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it's their commitment. So visit nextnewsgold.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit. And again, that's nextnewsgold.com. Noble Gold, helping you build a stronger future. So Chuck Schumer just said the quiet part out loud, and watch Senate Majority Leader, the man who just shut down your government, call Americans to forcefully rise up against the Trump administration. This isn't democracy. This is desperation. Check this out.
It is just such a hallmark of tyrannical, autocratic dictatorship societies that they use the prosecutorial department as a political weapon. It is a disgrace, and every American, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, moderate, people should be forcefully rising up against this.
He said, forcefully rising up. And those are the words of a man who knows he's losing control, and he's willing to burn down the government to keep power. But this is where it gets rich. Senator Chris Murphy got caught red-handed in his own hypocrisy. CBS played his 2018 comments calling government shutdown hostage-taking, and watch him squirm when asked if he's doing exactly what he condemned. Take a look.
You have been critical in the past of the tactic of choosing to shut down the government. You were in 2018, you were back in 2013 when it was a discussion over health care. This is what you said in 2018.
The future of the American healthcare system was a legitimate public policy issue, as is the security of our borders. But we shouldn't be having the discussion amidst a government shutdown, trying to use our nation's security and all of these federal workers and the work that they do as hostages.
Aren't you doing today exactly what you were criticizing then?
No, that was a fight over sort of the long term.
That's all he had to say. No, that's it. That's his defense. The same man who preached about not using federal workers as hostages is now holding them hostage. And Vice President J.D. Vance laid out the cold truth about what Democrats have done. They shut down the government, and now real people are paying the price. Listen to him explain exactly who's responsible for this chaos. Watch.
The main thing that we're focused on, Margaret, is ensuring essential services remain open. And obviously, in a government shutdown, we have limited funds to work with because the appropriations that keep the government running have not been made. That's thanks to Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. So we're trying to do everything that we can to ensure that low-income women and children get the food services that they need. We're trying to make sure that we pay our troops because that matters for national security. We also want our people to get their paychecks. That's where we've been focused. And unfortunately, what that does mean, Margaret, is that some federal bureaucrats are going to have to get laid off. This is not a situation that we're excited about. We want the government to reopen, but Chuck Schumer and the Democrats decided to shut down the government, and we have to deal with the consequences in the administration, so that's what we're doing.
Some federal bureaucrats are going to have to get laid off, not because Republicans wanted it, because Chuck Schumer chose it. The VP went further, exposing the real game being played here. This isn't about policy difference, guys. This is pure political hostage-taking, and watch him call out their tactics. Take a look.
The reality is, we have to remember, why are we in this situation, Margaret? All these conversations about whether it's a temporary layoff or a permanent layoff, we're dealing with a terrible, chaotic situation because Chuck Schumer and a few far-left Democrats decided to shut down the government. If they just joined with the moderate Democrats and the vast majority of Republicans, we can open up the government and all of these conversations will no longer be necessary.
He actually said Chuck Schumer and a few far-left Democrats decided to shut down the government, while moderate Democrats would vote to reopen. The radicals are holding them back. Then came the moment that exposed their entire strategy. The vice president spelled out exactly what Democrats are doing, and it's worse than you think. They're not negotiating, they're demanding total surrender. Take a look.
This isn't a deal making. This isn't a negotiation. This is hostage shaking. The Chuck Schumer has not said to us, this is what we need. He said that unless you give us what we need, we're going to shut down the government. That is a totally different thing. If Chuck Schumer wants to come into the Oval Office or come to my house, he is welcome to talk about how to fix health care policy for Americans. Of course, we want to lower insurance premiums. We want to make sure that the skyrocketing health care costs of the Biden administration start to level off and hopefully come down. That's one conversation. But you don't come into the Oval Office and say, unless you, the President of the United States, give us everything that I want, I'm going to shut down the government.
I absolutely love the attitude J.D. Vance and the Trump administration has. Listen, you guys want to shut it down. Don't come to my house and tell us what to do. We're going to tell you what's going on. They're not playing games, and they're using this as an opportunity to cut all the waste and fraud that we've been having for years.
To die, low-income women and children, their food benefits. I'm not going to pay the troops. That is what Chuck Schumer has put us in the situation of doing. We don't negotiate with a person who has taken the entire federal government hostage over a health care policy dispute. And I think that basic principle you saw.
It wasn't a healthcare policy dispute. It was them trying to give every illegal immigrant in the United States free health care. That's why they shut the government down. They didn't want to do anything more for American people. They shut it down because they wanted to give anybody in the first place. We don't get free health care. That's not how it works. But they want to give it to people who don't even belong in this country in the first place.
Barack Obama say this to Ted Cruz and a number of Republicans. We want to talk about health care policy, but we're not going to shut down the government over this. That's all that Donald Trump is now saying to Chuck Schumer and the far left Democrats. We are not going to negotiate over opening the government. We'll negotiate on health care policy, but only once you do your job and open up the people's government.
So we don't negotiate with a person who has taken the entire federal government hostage. And that's Barack Obama's playbook thrown back in their faces. And meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries went on TV to lie about the continuing resolution. But he got fact-checked in real time and watched him try to spin a clean continuing resolution as some kind of radical Republican bill. Watch.
Well, first of all, we don't view the current bill as anything other than a partisan Republican spending bill.
But it's the issue.
The American people.
It's at levels that you guys have already agreed to. A number of Democrats voted for this extension back in March. It's not adding or detracting anything. It's just continuing the levels of spending that currently exist.
Actually, it's not at levels that we agreed to. Democrats strongly oppose this legislation in the House because, in our view, it gut veterans' health care, gut funding for women, infants, and children programming, gut funding for affordable housing, and we know we have a housing crisis in this country. Housing costs are too high.
Just to be clear, though, it's not changing current. It's not changing current levels. Nothing's getting cut. It's at levels that you may not like, but it's about extending levels as they currently exist. Fair?
Right. We agree that current spending levels are unacceptable.
All right. It's just continuing the levels of spending that currently exist. The same levels of Democrats voted for in March, but now they call it extreme. And Speaker Mike Johnson exposed the real reason for this shutdown. It's not about policy, it's about politics. And Schumer got heat from his radical base, and now he's making America suffer to appease them. Watch.
Chuck Schumer is incapable of telling the truth right now. I mean, he's been in Congress for 44 years, Shannon. I mean, almost half a century. He knows this is basic civics. Every 8th grade civics student can point out the fallacy in what he just said. It requires 60 votes in the Senate to get this through. We only have 53 Republicans. We've got to have a handful of Democrats in the Senate who apply common sense and agree to reopen the government so that we can continue all these discussions. As you pointed out to Hakeem Jeffries, this is a clean continuing resolution. What that means for folks back home is it's exactly the same levels of spending. By the way, it's Biden-era policies and spending, which we loathe. But we're trying to get through the appropriations process to change that and fix it for the country, and they ran out of time because the end of the fiscal year, September 30th, we just need 7 more weeks to finish it. And right now they're eating up the clock. They're doing this for political cover. Chuck Schumer, when he voted for the exact same measure back in March, took a lot of heat from the left of his party, and he doesn't want to sustain that any longer. So he's doing this and inflicting pain for his own selfish reasons.
Chuck Schumer voted for the exact same measure back in March. And what changed? The radical left threatened him, so he shut down your government. These people are crazy. And this is the Schumer doctrine in action. They're using the exact tactics they condemned for decades. In 2013, they called Ted Cruz a terrorist for threatening shutdowns. In 2018, they said it was un-American to use government workers as leverage. Now they're doing both while demanding you forcefully rise up to support them. This is insane. But the facts are simple. Republicans passed a clean continuing resolution, the same spending levels, no poison pills, just keeping the government open while finishing appropriations. Democrats in the Senate, they're blocking it. And why is that? Because Schumer would rather hurt America than upset his radical base. And essential services are strained. Troops might not get paid. WIC benefits for mothers and children hang in the balance, all because Democrats decided that political revenge matters more than governing. And the media, they're running cover. Instead of reporting that Democrats are literally holding the government hostage, they're debating whether Trump's prosecutions of criminals are authoritarian. While Schumer calls for uprising and shutdowns of the government, they want you worried about law and order returning to America. And this is what it looks like for Democrats to panic. And they're seeing Trump bring peace to the Middle East, restoring order to cities, and holding the corrupt accountable. They can't beat him on results. So they're burning down the house and blaming him for the smoke. This is insane. So if this report opened your eyes, please hit subscribe. My final thoughts are next. So this matters because the government shutdowns aren't abstract, they're personal. Right now, a soldier wonders if his paycheck will clear. A single mother worries if WIC will keep running. Federal workers are getting layoff notices, not because of budget disputes or policy differences, but because Chuck Schumer got criticized by his radical base and decided to make America pay for it. They're literally using the same weapon they call terrorism when Republicans even threatened it, but now that they hold the gun, suddenly it's like a resistance. These are the same people who lectured about norms and institutions are burning both down because they can't stand Trump succeeding. So here's my question to you. Should Republicans cave to Democrat demands to reopen the government, or stand firm until Democrats pass the clean continuing resolution? Yes to stand firm, no to cave in. So let me know in the comments. And this is what desperation looks like. When you can't win on merit, you take hostages. So go ahead and check out our merch shop below and wear your principles proudly.